Hi guys, so my name's Ashley. Here's Manoj. So what we did is we came up with the project Pangea. So the word Pangea comes from is the supercontinent before the world split up into its individual continents. So this will kind of reflects exactly what our idea is. So we're connecting the world one review at a time. So the problem right now is that there's a fragmentation of information, right, regarding a company's brand equity on the web. Each source of information currently has its own metric system. For example, IMDb has its own, for Transformers, a 10-star rating. Rotten Tomatoes has a 5-star rating. Twitter isn't even talking about it. You have reviews on there, but it's text-based. So what happens is that because of this fragmentation, the data cannot be easily packaged and presented to brand managers quick enough to represent the changing trends. This is actually confirmed as we spoke to two consumer insight specialists at Procter & Gamble and one at Kraft Canada, who said that by the time they request information to the time they actually get the information, it takes about 2 to 3 months to do so, which is in some industries like say fashion, it's way too late to account for the consumer's preferences that change. And the result is that marketers have lost the ability to effectively keep track of their brand equity. So a little bit about what our strategy is. We actually, over the weekend, built a prototype that actually hosts all the different aggregate reviews from different places. And so far, our next strategy is to, after this weekend, is to build a prototype widget that will source reviews in the web. We actually, through personal connections, know the co-founder of Shopify. And what we'll be doing, we'll be working with them to build a widget that will be into their native system that as soon as a user comes in, builds an e-commerce site, an e-commerce application, adds a product, they can use our review system and connect all their reviews to our platform. As you said, this will help us bring in a lot of data, initial traction to our site, and expand our user base.
So this is just a quick screenshot of the Pangea platform. What we can see here is we have about 50 plus users at the moment, and the general consensus has been that it's a very positive feedback to use. So these are some of the examples of the most talked about brands on the Pangea platform. So we have strong brands such as Apple, McDonald's, and even BlackBerry.
This is an example of the brand product page. So what we're doing is we're building right here a brand stock market, something that's a little bit new term in the web that actually will take all information in the web from the widgets, from social media, from our site, all different type of review, and create a fluctuating live brand stock market that we'll be selling later on. We'll explain to the revenue models to marketers to use. And here's some example of people doing it. As you can see here, there are different products that it's connected to give a holistic value of an actual company's brand equity.
So, is there a demand for what we offer? We believe the answer is yes. Currently, our most fiercest competitors would be these couple of companies, such as Power Reviews. However, there's two main problems. The first problem is the fact that they're way too expensive for their client base, which tend to be small businesses. And secondly, they lack functionality. So a lot of customers are currently dissatisfied with their options on Shopify.
So we did a survey to try to check see whether what kind of people actually go on sites like on review sites, and whether people actually care about what their friends are doing, because a big part of what we're doing is social micro reviews. And we realized that most people said it's either important or very important what your friends say in making purchasing power decisions. And and so basically, here's an example of some of the different type of micro reviews you can have. So different brands like American Reunion, Canon, Startup Weekend. So after identifying through the survey, we actually realized that you have four categories that people talk about most, that are the social categories: technology, food, movies, and fashion. And these are the categories we're going to focus on the most in our strategy, as to attract the most amount of attention in the beginning phases.
So the revenue models. At the moment, we have two revenue models. In the short term, we'll be focusing on online ads. So given the fact that we'll be having reviews on products on our platform, we'll be using Google AdWords to source relevant ads so that customers who can not only review the product, but can actually go ahead and proceed to buy the product if they choose to do so.
A long-term strategy is obviously the data mining. So aggregating all these brands from all the opinions from Twitter, from Facebook, from our different widgets and our review systems, and building something called a live brand stock market that will give to companies, say Procter & Gamble, who can actually, managers can log into our system and see how their brands are doing today and monitor, okay, what happened in the news that has changed their value, and compare with different brands that they would like in same industries. So thank you. This is our product, Pangea. questions.
Thanks a lot for the presentation, guys. First question: in terms of looking at your revenue stream for this, what were your costs? What would be your operating costs involved with that? And what do you estimate your early revenue is based on ads? What do you estimate that ad revenue to be?
So the cost to are you asking the cost to acquire customers or cost to get the ads out there?
The cost for you to operate.
Okay.
And the revenue that you expect to make based on serving up ads to viewers.
So yeah, the ads themselves, we're using existing ad frameworks that already exist, things like Google AdWords and things like OBS out there, and we're gonna use the system to try and match these ads to the product reviews that are actually in the system. So this will again be in the system of the bid system that Google uses, based on what people feel, and as it over time more and more data comes onto the site, it starts increasing. So it can start anywhere from the ranges from 2 to 3 cents per click to a larger amount depending on how much data we can have. At this point, it would be about 2 to 3 cents, and it increases from there on.
So what do you estimate the size of your market to be?
So
you're targeting towards brands. Correct?
Yeah. So I mean, in the size of target market, it depends on it actually works on how many e-commerce sites we can actually get going, and if we can get into the Shopify's, we're working with them currently, that means we'll make it part of their native system. So they have about 300 so far sites on there with various products. So if we can get those commerce sites involved and start bringing their information in, over the long run, as we start growing and growing, we can start attracting the larger, bigger brands.
What's the incentive for me to leave a review? I'm leaving reviews, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, the thing about the reviews is that you're getting reviews sourced from everywhere, as well as aggregating reviews coming here. So we also built a little bit of game theory into the system that actually gives you a cred score. So every time you leave a review, if someone agrees with something you said, you get points on it based on that, which later on will be converted. Brands will actually give rewards to loyal customers who are talking about them over time. That'll actually give them rewards back to you as a customer of that brand.